And welcome back, and it is the Further Maths 5 a day for the 19th of March, and let's just go straight to the first question. Work out the value of y such that, this is I haven't seen this sort of question before. Okay, nice way of presenting a question. So it's not just a whole lot of index rules, it's thinking a bit about surd rules and how they work. So let's just write this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the left hand side as one big surd, because remember you can combine surds inside the surd. So that's going to be 15 times y, which is 15y, divided by 5 is equal to, now on the right hand side, I'm going to remember 3 is the same as the square root of 9, so the right hand side is 9 times 11. Clever. 15 divided by 5 is going to give me 3, so therefore I can simplify the left hand side down to 3y, and the right hand side, well, I don't need to do this, but I'm going to do it just to make it really clear what's happening. So that's the same as 3 times 11, which is 33, which must mean that y, by comparison, is equal to 33. In other words, I've cancelled the 3's and y is equal to 33. That's a nice question. I like that question. Very cleverly presented. Next question. Bearings. Now, from experience, people do not like bearings. So let's do this one carefully and let's lay this one out. So ship sails from point A on a bearing of for 8 kilometers, B calls sails for 7 kilometers point B. I would say it's quite important to get a reasonably good diagram here. It doesn't mean exact, don't spend ages trying to do it, but do try and get it reasonably precise, because that allows you then just to take your angles look okay. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to go 35 degrees for 8 kilometers, which is going to be about that length there under my definition to point B. And then I'm going to go 170, which is not quite 180 degrees, but like this length here for 7, which means I won't quite cross over, which means A to C is going to be this length here. What am I doing? So at B, the ship ought to course and sails for 7 kilometers to 170 point C. Find the distance AC. Okay, unsurprising, I kind of guess where it's going. Oh, and the bearing of A from C. Now, again, classic error. A from C means I start at the C line and I want this bearing here. I'm going to get rid of that just so it doesn't mess up my diagram, but I'll put that back in later. In other words, I know this length here is 8, working in kilometers. I know this length here is 7. This angle here, well, if I know this one's 35, this must also be 35 because it's alternate. And if I know this one's 170, then this one must be 10, which means that this angle here is going to be 40, what did I say, 35? Yeah, 45 degrees. Again, make sure you're okay with that, pause the video. So one thing about bearings is almost always it involves alternate angles or co-interior angles to find an angle. Either way, I've got the cosine rule. So that means that AC is going to be equal to the square root of 8 squared plus 7 squared minus 2 times 8 times 7 times cos 45. Calculator out. I'm going to do this in one go. So that's going to be 64 plus 49 minus 2 times 8 times 7 cos 45. And that's going to be 5.81412. So 5.81412. Now, I'm going to use this to calculate the bearing. So I'm going to have lots of decimal places, but I'm going to present this answer as 5.81 kilometers to 3 sig fig. So that's my answer to AC. Then to do the bearing, well, how am I going to do this? So I know, I'm just going to draw a couple of things. So I know what this is, and I know this angle here, and I need this angle here, don't I? Okay, so it's just going to be a sine rule question. So I'm going to say this, let's call this theta. So I'm going to say the sine of theta over the opposite, which is 8, is equal to the sine of 45 over the opposite, which is the one I've just worked out, so 5.81412, and that means that theta is equal to sine minus 1 of 8 sine 45 divided by 5.81412, and that's going to be, well, calculate that again, that's going to be 8 sine 45 divided by 5.8142, and that gives me 76.64006. So I'm just going to call that 76 degrees. So therefore theta equals 76.6 degrees. Now, I'm going to sketch the C bit down here. So this is my C point in more detail, just so I can be really clear what I've got. So there's my north line. I know that this angle here is equal to, it's going to be equal to 10 degrees, isn't it? And that's because this angle here, I'm going to put it on the diagram, this angle here is 170. Co-interior angles means that this one's 10. I've just worked out that this angle here, let's paste it in, so this angle here that I've just worked out is 76.6, which means together that 86.6, which means the bearing, the thing I drew originally, which is this angle here, is going to be 360 minus 76.6 minus 10 degrees, which is otherwise known as 360 minus 76.6 minus 10 is 273.4 degrees. Now I tend to believe that bearing should be 3 sig fig, so I'm going to say that's 273 degrees. Question done. What a nice question. A difficult question. I know lots of people don't like these sort of questions, but I mean, get used to them. Give them a try. Give them a practice. You will get better at them. Next, I was going to say final question. Not the final question at all. Next question. Find where the matrix thing maps to the point. Okay, this is just a straightforward calculation question. So I'm going to do minus 2, 1, minus 3, 4. I'm going to multiply that by 2 minus 1. This is a 2 by 2, this is a 2 by 1. These numbers are the same, good, which means my new matrix, 2 by 1, sorry, which means my new matrix is a 2 by 1. So I know that my final answer is going to be minus 2 times 2, which is minus 4, 1 times minus 1, which is minus 1, minus 3 times 2 is minus 6, and 4 times minus 1 is minus 4, which means my new point, I'm going to write new point. So my new point is going to be minus 4 minus 1, which is minus 5, and minus 6 minus 4, which is minus 10, and question done. Next question. Oh God, what do we have here? X to the minus 3 is this, X is this, where X is that and Y is that. Now this is important because it means I don't do the negatives. Find the value of X over Y. Okay, I'm just going to find the value of X and find the value of Y. Okay, X is equal to 8 over 27. What do I multiply minus 3 by to get 1? In other words, what's the opposite of minus 3ing? Well, it's going to be minus a third, because minus 3 times minus a third is 1, which is the opposite. 8 over 27 to the minus a third is 27 over 8 to the third, which is a cube root of both, which is 3 over 2. Y, similar approach. So Y is 64. What do I multiply 3 over 2 by to get 1? Well, 3 over 2 upside down is 2 over 3. 2 over 3 times 3 over 2 is 1, so that's the opposite. The cube root of 64 is 4. 4 squared is 16, so therefore Y equals 16. And it wants X over Y, which is going to be 3 over 2 over 16. And 3 over 2 times 16 is 32. So in other words, this is actually just 3 over 32. What a nice question again. God, I do enjoy doing these each day. Good questions. Let me know how you did. I really enjoyed today. I thought it was a good mix of questions. I like bearings questions. I know most people don't, but make sure you're okay with those. Let me know how you did. Like and subscribe. See you tomorrow. Thanks all.